Hey, hi, hello. Welcome back. It's been a while. Hi, everybody. I'm Heather, or if you're one of my students, Miss Postlethwaite, and this is Pages with Postlethwaite. And yeah, it's been a minute. I'm sorry. I've just had a hard time over the last little bit, and April was April, and I think that's been my excuse a couple times this year. Yeah, I don't have a April reading journal. I barely touched my reading journal. I barely touched books. I read 4 books in April, and 2 of them are because I really needed to for a literature group that I'm in for my school. So I was committed. So I'm glad. I'm actually glad. I read a couple books that I want to talk about today. Of the books I read, 3 are middle grade. So yay me. And yeah, I thought we just could chit chat for a second. I know that sometimes I am guilty of like comparing myself to like some of these amazing people that do incredible things out there, whether that would be in the book tube community, maybe in the journaling community, especially with reading journals. Like I love looking at everybody's reading journals, and there's some pretty amazing people out there. And the fact is, I'm human, and we're all human. And when things are hard, you got to cut yourself some slack. And so I haven't done anything in my reading journal, like I said, for April. I have the stickers. I'm just going to skip April for now. I'm going to try and do some May, and if it happens, it happens, and I'm going to give myself permission if it doesn't. School's out in a couple of weeks, and so I get to be human again and not teacher crazy. There's nothing like May teacher tired. It is, maybe June teacher tired, but luckily I'm not one of those teachers who teaches in June. I actually get June off. And then we go back to school in July. So yay for year-round schooling. So I thought I'd talk about the books that I read and just give you permission if it's been hard too. It's been so hard lately. I don't really want to go into details. I know I have a lot of students who watch some of my videos, and so I think what I really want to say is it's okay to have those hard days, and it's okay to have those hard times, and it's okay if nobody gets it. It's okay. Give yourself permission to be human. Yeah. So let's talk about books. Let's just talk about books. I read 3 books. The first one I want to talk about, I don't actually have, but I read it. I listened to it on audio, and I think I did myself a disservice because the book is, and I'm going to put it right here, The Misfits. It's by Lisa Yee. And the pictures are by Dan Santat, which if you know him at all, I read The Aquanaut, and I mean, the pictures were fantastic. So I've actually reserved that book at the library because I want to physically see the pictures. I want to experience that. That book was delightful. It's kind of a spy caper mystery solving one. And I know I enjoyed the story so much. It had me laughing out loud. And I really would love to see the pictures. So maybe I will add that to May and reread it. But that's one of them that I read in April. That was very fun. It was a nice listen to audio. The other 2 that I read were for that literature group that I was talking about. So with the schools and just kind of putting approval through. The first one was Wonder. And I mean, I've read this before. I've read it a couple times, but it'd been a while. It's been a long time since I read this. Actually, we just read White Bird with my book club, so you've heard me talk about that one. So getting a chance to go back to the original was very nice. It's always a sweet read. It's a good visit. The characters are sweet, and I mean, you love Augie, and really getting to know his family and his friends, and just how people can be surprising. And when we look past the outside and see people on the inside for who they really are, magical things happen. Not even magic. It's really just a heartwarming, realistic fiction. If you've never read this, I highly recommend. I also highly recommend that you read it if all you've ever done is seen the movie. The movie's well done. It is. But the book is beautiful. Okay, there's that. And there's a bunch of stories, if you would like, later on that the author put out that kind of talks about some of the other perspectives. And then, of course, White Bird was fantastic. Okay, so I read, the third book that I read was Laura Halse Anderson's historical fiction, Chains, Revolutionary War. The story centers on Isabella, and Isabella. Her sister's name is Ruth. I think that we are getting to the point where it should be okay to say this, so I'm just going to say it. This story should not have been written by this person. This is not a story for a white woman to write. I'm sorry, it's just not. And so there's a lot of inaccuracies. There's a lot of pieces that were just done wrong. And while I really like this author, and I think she does a good job with a lot of the things that she writes, and she's done a lot of good things, this is a whole series. There's a whole bunch of books that kind of follow this storyline, and it gets a lot of praise. I think that it just wasn't the right author for this story. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna go. I think we're at the point where we can recognize you can write anything you want, but you don't always have the right grasp of the impact if you are writing in something that you don't have skin in the game. I don't know. I just think some things are better written by the people that understand the full perspective. Well, that was May. Nope, that was April. That was my April and all of my books. And I'm way, way, way behind on my goal of 100 books this year. I think I've read 26. I was doing much better last year about this time. But like I said, summer's coming, and I think I just got into a rut, and I'm kind of getting myself out of it by reading some things that are different for me. And I'm hoping to just shift this whole thing up and out and hopefully stop getting so wound up in the outside world. Anyway, I hope you are well, and I hope you are reading. And if you have a great suggestion, a great book that maybe helped you get out of a rut or a reading slump, maybe something that is happy. I think I could use some happy books, and I'd love a suggestion if you're willing, if you're up for it. I am reading a couple of things. I kind of shifted gears, and so sometimes just reading dumb things that, you know, are just reading candy. They have no literary value whatsoever, except that they can give you joy. That's kind of helping me a little bit right now. Nothing I'll probably talk about on this channel. yeah, that's where I'm at. I got a bunch of DNFs and things that I haven't finished. I've got some books that I've been reading with my book club at school with the kids that are half done that I need to get done. And so hopefully May has more titles and a little more success. I wish you peace. I wish you comfort. I wish you joy. And you have all the things that you need. Yeah. So we'll see you on the flip side. Bye, guys.